Hey, I'm Annabelle Drumm and I'm in Sydney, Australia.
And I'm Jeffrey Carl, and I'm in Catskill, New York. And beautiful morning.
And it's evening here. And
And,
we're going to be continuing our interview series on the different chakras, the new chakras of the body that have come about since 2012. And we are up to the throat chakra, which is one of the original ones. Jeffrey, do you want to explain a bit about maybe the original part of the throat chakra and if it's changed or what's changed?
well, the third chakra, none of the chakras have changed. They've all been here. It's like the ones that we're talking about is just adding more perspective, more depth to what we've been talking about. Most people just see seven chakras on a
On a
daily basis.
diagram.
Like they just go, "Oh, seven chakras and blah blah blah." And they don't really take the time to really dig into them. But the other ones that we added to have always been there. As we're getting more finer, we're opening up to different balances of understanding.
Okay. All right. Well, tell us a bit about the throat chakra then.
Third chakra is basically the passageway between our heart and our head. It's like it's the bridge that's bringing down all these higher energies into us. It has our thyroid and parathyroid gland, which is a very, very important endocrine system.
Mm.
So physically, it brings out all these hormones that balances our body. It has the growth hormone in us. So if we keep this activated and keep our throats moving, it also helps to keep our aging process down. It's like this is like the major part where we have growth hormones
Oh,
coming
okay.
back out to our body.
And what about the? Tell us a bit
And
about
on
the
the back side
thyroid
of
as
it is
well.
where the cranium meets our top vertebrae. So then we go into the brain stem, and it's the base of our cranium, which is also the portal into where we're going to get into the pineal gland
Yeah.
and different actions in here. So, and then the bottom part of the throat. So it's all about this neck region, and it's like the neck basically holds the head on the rest of the body. It's about how we speak. It's about taking all of our thoughts and feelings into vibration of speaking. So all the vibratory, because of our voice cords, our voice box, all this is in here. So it's the way we communicate to the outside world, how we speak, the power of our words and intentions. It comes into the throat, comes into where we're into so the throat would take us into the mouth area also, into the upper
Okay.
chest. So it's where we're bringing in nutrients into our body.
So, can
So
you
it's a
tell us a
lot.
bit more about the thyroid as well? Is there
The
anything
thyroid
else?
is without getting too medical because I don't other than understanding that the thyroid is part of our throat and it's a very important gland. And a lot of people have problems with the thyroid because it's a balancing thing, and we have a lot of impurities in our air and waters and stuff that affect our thyroid glands,
Okay.
like
Oh well, we'll go back to
radiation.
the rest of the throat then, if that's easier. So, I'm assuming that
Yeah,
when it
because
gets
then
blocked, it's when you can't voice your opinion as well as the impression that I had. If you can't express yourself fully, that you'll often end up with problems around this area.
yeah, it's coming back to speaking your truth. So if you get all jammed up or you speak your truth and you don't feel like you're heard and stuff, then you get a lot of problems in your throat and your neck. And you also have the whole thing of carrying all the weight of your burdens on the back of your shoulders and your neck.
Yeah, yeah.
So then you get like neck pain, or people become, pain in the neck. Why? Because we're taking all this energy and it just gets jammed up right here. It's all about communication.
Okay.
So about taking us into the higher realms too. It's a portal. So really, so it seems like it's just more of a passage between the head and the heart, and it holds a plexus of our nerves. So the basics to a lot of our throat is speaking clearly, breathing. It's part of our breathing mechanism, how we breathe, how we allow the voice to flow through in the sound vibrations. And with sound, it's everything. It's our voice. It's how we communicate with our soul. How our soul can come out through song, and it's just a key part of this whole command. I know there's not
It's
a lot to talk
about yeah. I was going to say it's sort of like about reaching out as well, isn't it? So if you find that you can't express, or if you've been taught from when you're a child that your opinion doesn't count, or that, like if you had a very dominating parent, and so you grow up as an adult thinking that it's not okay to speak your truth.
Yeah, see this definitely see this because that's how we communicate.
Why is it blue? What is it that's the connection? This is the blue one, right? Yeah.
It's blue, so yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Is there
connecting.
anything that you can say about the color as to why it's blue is chosen for that one?
Well, it'd be on the spectrum that the green would have been in the heart, and yellow is down to blue.
Yeah. Natural progression up through the hues.
Well, it's kind of a natural, except the blue. Blue is one of the basic, the three basic primary colors. You have red, blue, and yellow. That's the primary color. So blue's bringing us in the higher spheres, or the most. It's not higher. What happens with colors? They move faster. So the vibration of blue is faster than the vibration of green. It's not that one is better than the other one. It's just that the vibrate, like red vibrates really slow and long wavelengths, and blues are getting faster.
Right.
Like violet's the fastest moving wavelength that's in our body. So
I've actually seen videos of a school, like an intuition school in India, that teaches kids to select coloured cards blindfolded, because they learn to pick up the vibe of the card. Yeah. And they can separate them into colours and say, there's all the yellow ones over there and there's all the green ones. And
but that's also what the main thing about the chakras is understanding it's the color coding in our body. So we have the feeling of blue, which could be the feeling of sky blue, or the water, or blue.
It's big, isn't it? It's all the big stuff.
Huh?
It's all the biggest things.
Yeah, if you look at blue in nature, there's very few things that are really blue. There's a lot of things that are green and oranges and reds, and you have some. So the higher things, you get very few things that are actually tangible on Earth. So the blue vibration, which also gets us into the blue body. Also, the throat would be kind of associated with our etherical body, because we have our energy body with our heart. Another way that I correspond to chakras is like, if we go from the bottom, we have the sacral, which is kind of a physical body. Then we go into the pubic, which is kind of the emotional body. Then we have the solar plex, which is the mental body. Then we have the heart, the lower heart area, which is the electrical energy body. It's like the heart has the fire for the body. Then we have the high heart, which is taking us into the male-female balance, into our I am presence and the seat of the soul. And then we have the throat chakra, which is like, it's getting us into this blue light. It's getting us into our blue body too. Also, people talk of the blue body and this etherical body, which is kind of like we've moved up in the vibratory layer. So now we can activate our light body more. We can activate our subtle etherical body. This is where we kind of like, we can start to really move into that non-physical level, and we can get into our light body. This is like what they talk about with our light body.
They talk a lot about light bodies, but I don't quite understand what that's about, because it doesn't. It's something that is not seen with the eyes, isn't it? It's like felt or something. Like when you move into your light body, it's moving into a different kind of energy that's not seen. It's not like you glow. How do you see it?
I mean, eventually we would glow more once we got our light bodies really moving and reactivate them. Yeah, that's why in ancient days you would see glowing around people's heads and stuff, because they were activating their body. And it's also the place back here where we pick up pranayana from the solar system. So in the back of our throat or our neck right here, it's kind of like we almost have gills like fish, but we can pick up energy, and that's all part of this chakra too. It's allowing the passage of this finer vibrations and being able to pick it up with our plexus here. And once we start absorbing that into our body, then we can start to become these light bodies. It's like we all have light bodies. So people right now who are pretty clairvoyant, which will get into the next chakra up, when we start to put our inner ears and inner sight online, then we can start to see. But it's also, it would be affiliated with air and these lighter vibrations too.
This is the blue? You're talking about the blue light?
Yeah, the blue. So like that's the way I look at all the colors of the chakras. I don't really look at them to find like some wordy thing to say about them. It's like you said, like people in India that where they had the feeling. So every color has a feeling, and this feeling, like there's a tone to each chakra.
Right.
And, I mean, we could say that everything starts with C or base C and goes up and down in octaves, because we can go all the way down below audio sound into hertz of like the planet. The planet has a soul note of like almost 8 hertz, or it's moving up to 8 hertz, which is kind of a big flux that's happening in our planet, because
and the scientists have proven that's the case as well. And they've also, I noticed, was the NASA Solar Observatory that says because the ball of the sun is plasma, that it actually emits sound waves that convert to light by the time they arrive at our planet. So everything relies on music and tones to start off with.
The tones, they measure everything in hertz, and the tones are at a lower, like at one set of hertz, and color is like, say, 40 times faster. But it's still measured.
That's the colors that we see, though, right? So we might find that there's a whole lot of hues of color that we can't see because the hertz are either too low or too high compared to that.
Right. We see like a small spectrum of what vibrations are. And same when we only hear in a small level of like, we hear from 20 hertz to maybe 2,000 hertz.
Yeah. And dogs can hear higher, and whales can hear lower. And,
just like colors, there's a shrimp that has 23 cones in their eye. They see 23 different colors combinations. A little shrimp, right? And it's like this poison. I think it's in Australia actually. It's this poisonous like little shrimp that is massive, mean, predator creature, but it sees all.
Everything's massive and mean here.
It's just like a vicious predator.
Vicious shrimp. Okay.
But so the vibration of the blue, and that's what you should feel with the chakras. Like, so you can start the chakras on whatever scale you want to. Like, there's 12 basic notes in the Western music, and there's 12 basic chakras too. So, right, and I call the 13th one the completeness of us. So that's unifying them all together as a whole.
Yeah, the same again.
And then so each one goes in octaves. So that's why there's 8. Like even in the flower of life, there's 8 cells that get created in this ball they call the egg of life or something, which is the heart one. So basically the 8 basic chakras in our system, which is symbolized by the 8 cells that come together when the first 2 cells get together before they go blah, and then they become the whole body. But they have a moment of solidifying, which would be really our life octave. Basically, that's all being solidified at birth while we're in our parents, in our mother's belly, and all this stuff is happening. And then it just mixes out and multiplies into becoming the human being that it is and stuff. But it comes down to those basic 8 cells of that octave that we're going to live in this life. So kind of put this out, and all that would be corresponded in our throat, because it's the way that we breathe. It's the way that we assimilate this knowledge. They say that's the throat's the gateway to the heavens. I still think it's the other, it's also the gateway to our hearts. So we have to allow that energy to go both ways on the throat. We have to be able to breathe in and breathe out. We take food in, and then it goes all the way through our system, and then it comes out, basically our base chakra. So the throat and all this is really corresponded back down to our root and to our base too, down into our solar plexus. And like we always give like little exercises. The exercise for the throat would be to suck, like you're sucking on a bottle or your finger or something. And when we suck,
like the baby on the nipple.
Yeah, but it releases all these chemicals in your body, plus it pulls all the energy all the way up from your sacral. Like
if you do that, if you suck there.
And if you're thinking about it and you start running it up, like your butt or your anus is done around there can start to pump, and then it comes up to your pubic, then it comes to your solar plexus, and you're breathing. But all that can be triggered by
that
very action sucking. That's why babies suck, and suck on your thumb, you suck on the nipple, you suck. That's the first thing that we do is suck, basically. Otherwise we wouldn't eat or we wouldn't do that. So it's a very...
So you're saying that's a good way to open up the throat chakra, is to do that movement?
Yeah, because it gets all the jaws, it gets all here. We hold a lot of tension in our jaws.
Yeah.
And,
I always thought it was about stretching out, stretching the jaw. But also even with the throat, that if people have, anyone watching who's got problems in being able to express themselves, that to even get down to a Toastmasters or an acting class or something to start freeing that up, because that's a safe place to do it. And you're not around your friends or family who expect you to be quiet and not say anything. If you can get into a place where you feel safe with other people yelling and improvising and expressing emotions, that's probably that's a physical side of it. And singing, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because singing itself can release things that suddenly make you burst into tears and you don't know why. But you're actually releasing, it's a good thing, right? You've got to allow that to happen, that if you find yourself, like even in the middle of a yoga class or in a singing class, that you suddenly find that you're triggered and you burst into tears, to go somewhere where you can allow that to keep going, really, not forever, of course, but just to let it release and not try and block it off again.
So these are all things with both words. It's like definitely with singing and stuff. It's like how we can, breathe out the breath of the Creator again. It's like we're breathing in and we're exhaling out, and it's very much part. Like, again, we have to get back to the words, what we're saying and stuff. So it's all words heart driven or words head driven. We just egos out there talking away, and this is all would associate with the throat.
Or are we just repeating things that someone else has told us without really thinking about whether it's true or not? That's often a key as well, isn't it? You pick up something from the media or pick up something from a friend and go, oh, that's the case. And then you spread it to the next person without actually stopping to wonder if it's the right thing to say. So I guess getting back down to integrity, isn't it? Finding that you're speaking the words have to be very important that come out of your mouth.
And with people speak from the heart, you feel that,
Yeah.
So again, it's definitely getting that combination, and it all comes there to that passage which have come out and around us.
Okay. So that's pretty much the throat chakra for this week?
Yeah, it seems not as in depth as some of the other ones, but
it doesn't matter. That's okay.
It's a passage place, and it's a very important passage place to speak our truth.
Okay.
So I guess the best thing from that would be to speak our truth and to allow our head and our heart to have a union, so that when we do speak, it can come from our heart with the wisdom of our head, not just with the blindness of our heart either,
Yeah, that's it. Sounds good. Okay, and so next week we'll start up here?
Next week. Have a great week.
Woohoo! Okay. See ya.
Bye.